Yeah, I think before the games, the other team was playing, Spurs and what was the other team? Celtics. Those games we watched them. How they how they're playing, and we talk about how it's important the second game is, and I think that kind of motivates us. JJ talk about how other teams are struggling. The won the game one. So we took a personal, and that's why we got this dub. Yeah.
Marcus, just to kind of reiterate that Rui was talking about the message from JJ, and you've been in these situations before and know how tough it can be. How did you kind of translate that to the court and find a way to get it done and keep kind of beating them back when they were pushing?
Just continue to trust our game plan, right? We had a game plan that we wanted to implement, and a lot of times when that game plan, things start to get a little tough for you, you start to run away from it, right? Our thing was just to stay composed and just stick with it, and it'll work out in our favor. And that's what we did tonight. It was good for them to have KD out there for them, and it was good for us to be able to do what we did tonight against them. So we're just stick with the game plan, and I think that was what that actually helped us tonight.
Marcus and Rui, this is for both of you guys. You guys mentioned sticking with the game plan, focusing on the defense. What does it say about the progress you guys have made on that end of the floor that you guys have been able to have success defensively in the way you have, especially when you guys are sending two to the ball or switching and kind of mixing up coverages against KD?
Yeah, it's tough for us, right? KD is a special talent, and we were throwing different packages at him, right? And to be able to do that on the fly is tough. Especially against a team who crashes the way that they crash and the pace that they play with. But we trust one another. The word is elevate for us, and that's all we've been trying to do, elevate our play on both ends.
Yeah, like he said.
Hey, Marcus. Obviously, the playoffs are so tough because you empty your tank and then you got to refill it immediately. Physicality is obviously so important for this series. I guess, what are tactics to kind of reset your toughness each game so quickly?
I think, with the days that you have in between the games, you definitely got to find a way to be able to not only relax your body, but mentally, right? Because it does take a lot away, not just physically, but mentally as well, right? To get back in that headspace to get ready to do it all over again. So, definitely taking care of our body, but mentally taking care of our mind too. And I think that helps a lot for us to be able to get back, quick turnarounds and come back and do it all over again.
Just one for each of you, maybe we can remember. So, Marcus, you've talked about the importance and how much you value this postseason experience. Just what does it mean for you to have this game on this stage for this team after your career? And then for Rui, what kind of tone does Marcus set when he's doing what he's doing defensively, diving to get the ball, like stopping KD alone? Just how does that kind of set a tone for your guys' defense?
Yeah, I think we understand those kind of stuff, what he does on the court. He doesn't really show it on the stats, but I think it get us going, as a team, especially in the start of the game. He was guarding KD, the full court, and he got the ball, and Brown almost got an N1. Those kind of plays, it just set the tone. So that's really important for us, and he always make that plays. So yeah, we trust in those kind of stuff, and it's a big play. He make all the big plays that it doesn't show on the stats. So yeah.
And for me, it was very important, right? I'm very grateful, to be doing this. I thank God every day, because I could have been out the league, right? Injuries and things like that. So to be able to be back on the stage again, making the plays that I'm making with these guys, with this team, this organization, I'm just grateful.
For each of you guys, you and your teammates talked about the chemistry you guys had together in the month of March, how you built it on the road trips and off the court, and how it's showing on the court. How, without Luka and AR, are you guys, that chemistry still showing between the rest of you guys?
I think, to start the season, everybody wasn't here, right? We were all figuring out, getting in shape, some injuries, myself included. So we had to learn how to play without each other early, right? And I think that helped us in the long run. to have that extended minutes without certain guys here, especially, Austin and Luka, right? But we put in work every day. Whether those guys are here or not, obviously we would love for them to be here. They elevate us to a whole nother level, right? And we understand that, but they're not, and there's nothing we can do about it but step our games up for those guys.
Hey, Marcus, over here.
There we go.
Your effort on both ends of the court really stood out tonight. With Luka and Austin out, how much have you taken on just every possession as a personal challenge?
Tremendously for me. It's everything is heightened, right? We need guys. And, my whole life I've been that guy that you can just throw in certain spots whenever you need. And like I said before, that Swiss Army knife, right? That's me, filling in the gaps, whatever we need, whenever we need it. And that's just who I've been. And I think that's what makes me very valuable and what makes me very unique.
Well, one for Marcus and one for Rui. I'll start with Rui. I'm pretty sure you had the team high for minutes tonight. How much are you feeling gratification over? We were just a few weeks ago, we were asking you about being comfortable with coming off the bench and leading the unit up from that side of the ball, and then now being in this role. How are you feeling about that gratification-wise? And then for Marcus, JJ mentioned a conversation you had with him in San Francisco. He didn't go into detail about the conversation, but I was wondering what you took from that after those 3 defeats and knowing that you can use your voice to help rally the troops with this.
Yeah, I think I was ready for it, throughout the season. It's a long season, but, building the body, I have to do a lot of recovery during the season, lifting and all that. I was doing all that for this moment, the playoff. So I was ready for that, and yeah, it's a high minute for me, but I think it's not that bad. I've been playing it, and I've been playing through, fine. I've been locked in on the defense side and whatever we have to execute and all that. So yeah, I think I was living for this moment. Yeah.
Yeah, me and JJ, we talk all the time, right? I'm constantly talking to the staff to see what I can do to help. The coaches aren't out there, and I try to be that quarterback out there for the coaches. Relaying messages, getting everybody together, and that talk was just, to sum it up, was really just, hey, go play basketball, be you, and to be able to have him trust me. And then all of that, to have this team and these guys trust me to be able to do that, something that I'm grateful for. It shows a lot. It shows the camaraderie. It shows where we came, the long way that we came, and we're going to continue to trust one another.
Marcus, I'll just start with you with this. I mean, last month Kevin said that the defense y'all showed him, that's the best version of the defense that y'all could have. The fact that you had, I think, 3 or 4 steals of his 9 live balls. He's never had a playoff game with more turnovers. Like, how much confidence does that give all of you about the viability of this team's postseason defense?
I think it gives anybody confidence. When you're able to go up against one of the greatest, scorers in this game, and for him to say that, right, to have that type of, view about you and opinion about you speaks volumes. And that just speaks volumes, not just me, but this team and the things that we put in every day to help each other out and to make sure that, we're locked in and we go out there and make it as tough as possible for them.